It is officially the end of an era in St. Louis as Paul Goldschmidt is signed with the New York Yankees for a 1 year, $12.5 million deal. Everybody already knew this was going to happen. Cardinals fans knew this wasn't going to happen. We weren't going to get to enjoy this corner infield anymore. So call this episode my farewell to possibly the greatest corner infield in St. Louis Cardinals history. For 4 years, we got to watch Nolan Arenado at third and Paul Goldschmidt at first base from 2021 to 2024. 2 of those years we made the playoffs, 21 and 22. 21 ended with a Chris Taylor bomb to left field that crushed my spirit. Then the next year, we lose twice to Philly. First game we should have had, didn't happen. Second game, I was there, and 2-0 loss. Yachty and Albert both got a hit late in that game. I'll always remember that. But unfortunately, not a ton of playoff production from half of it's from the Cardinals themselves. You can't even just blame these two guys, Arenado and Goldie. But yeah, they if you look at the playoff stats, I don't think they necessarily showed up in those 2 years that we did have them. Now, given the Dodgers won, that was one fucking game. The Phillies won, again, 2 games 2 years ago at this point in 2022. How many times can you say 2 in one fucking sentence? There you go. Goldie wins an MVP in 23. Arenado finishes third. Wasn't it third in MVP voting? Oh, 2022. Sorry. That was 22. I was going to say, because 23 was the shit year. The 20 games below 500 year. And then this past season, we finished 4 games above 500. The exact same record as the Chicago Cubs, 83 and 79. Terrible company right there. If you can't tell, this is going to be a quick, Cardinals themed episode. I've showed a lot of self-control lately in not talking about solely my favorite team in an episode for a long time, but here we are. It's happening. And it's, it needs to be acknowledged. Within the 10 minutes or so of this episode, I've got to acknowledge just how lucky St. Louis was to be able to watch this duo on the corners for these 4 seasons. 2 dudes who stayed healthy the vast majority of the time. 2 dudes with incredible defense, incredible bat. Again, Arenado finished third in the MVP voting in 22. Goldie won the fucking thing in 22. They were good. They were damn good. And, the playoffs, anything can happen. Anything can happen in the playoffs. You can't do anything about that. But it still blows. It still blows because, you would have thought that with the younger core, the younger guys coming up who are now, it's public that they're going to let the kids play this year. Nolan Gorman's going to get to go. Jordan Walker, let him play every day. Mason Wynn, he already played as much as he could this year. He's only going to get better, I think. So it's a changing of the guard, and these 2 dudes who have just been rock solid presences in the Cardinals clubhouse will now be gone. And yeah, we'll talk about it in this episode, and then I'm going to do my best to just be okay with whatever happens, because Arenado has not been traded yet, but it seems to be a given that he will. Apparently the Birds tried to trade him to Houston. He rejected that shit. He used his no trade clause to veto that trade. He said, fuck that. I'm not going to Houston. You got all kinds of problems. And then he said, well, it's too early in the off season. It's too early anything could happen. A lot could happen. It's like, yeah, that's fair. I'd rather go anywhere besides there too. Go to New York or LA where it's not as fucking hot. Good call. And really put a cog in the St. Louis front office plans too, because they can't get that deal done with Houston now. They thought that shit was all lined up, and it went to Arenado for approval. He said, "No, not going there. Sorry, try again." So the Cardinals have to get a deal that's good enough for Arenado, which I mean, everybody thinks he's gonna have a shitty year next year. He's not. I don't think that he's just gonna fall off a cliff. Everybody seems convinced of that. I do not think that's the case. I think, if anything, he will hit less home runs because that happens with age, but he's a good enough player to where he knows that he can play 35 plus. He's like 33 right now. He knows he can play into his higher 30s if he wants to, but doing that, you would just have to change your approach. To some extent, you have to change your approach. You're gonna become some kind of different hitter in a way. I feel like it would be inevitable. I'm not an actual baseball player. I'm not playing out there, so I only know so much, but that's what I would hypothesize. That's what we do over here. We hypothesize. Goldie, I think he is a 37 maybe, upper 30s, but he's going to go to a Yankees team that needs that stability and that consistency at first base. Even just staying healthy will be a big help to the Yankees. I think they see a lot of plus side with Goldie. They only got him for $12.5 million. Goldie can hit all over the field. Who knows? Maybe he can poke a lot of home runs over that right field short porch. He can just poke them out there, hit outside pitches out there, and Goldie has a chance to have a hell of a season as an old guy on the Yankees. I mean, who else have we seen do that? Matt fucking Carpenter, somebody who was way less likely to accomplish something like that. Matt Carpenter, who continues to, spit in the face of logic. I mean, I think that he still wants to play next year, which I don't hate him for it. I'm happy for you. I'd keep playing too. Good on you, dog. I'm a fan. That's cool. He's one of my girlfriend's favorite players. Matt Carpenter, I remember he hit a grand slam against the Blue Jays like when I was in early high school, and I still remember that shit. It was a walk-off grand slam, bases loaded. It was like 3-0 count. The dude had to throw a meatball over the plate, and Carpenter just destroyed it. I'll always remember that. So he wouldn't be the first old guy to go from the Cardinals to the Yankees and then really fucking succeed. And we've seen so many Cardinal players get over there anyway. Harrison Bader went over there. So 3 at least that I can think of at this exact second. But it's going to be weird. It's going to be so fucking weird. I'm really excited for the Cardinals season in the way that, there's a lot up in the air, and maybe with this approach they can find some kind of success, and maybe this is what the Cardinals need to be in the thought process of before going into the season is, like, hey, we're going to go play some fucking baseball, and these are the dudes who are going to do it, and we're going to find out if they're going to be good or not. If that's the mentality, I'm in. Whatever happens this year, who gives a shit? If you're not going into it with World Series expectations, then maybe the result will be better. There's plenty of teams. The Detroit Tigers just made the playoffs. The Guardians, well, they're damn good. The Guardians are damn good, but they spend a lot less money than the Cardinals, I bet. But you can still sneak into the playoffs by being a fun team. So let's be a fun fucking team. That's really all I want. If we're saying bye to these two dudes, which Goldie, I knew the Goldschmidt thing was going to happen because his contract was up anyways. And just like Albert Pujols, when I was in 7th grade, I know there's not shit I can do about it. There's not shit I can do about it. Free agency is free agency. So I knew Goldschmidt was gone. He wasn't that good last year. I didn't see much of a reason to bring him back. it does not discredit everything that he did while he was here. Because from Albert and then a bunch of random first basemen in the middle and then Goldie, it was great to have Goldie from 2019 to 24. He had 153 home runs, 477 RBIs, went to an All-Star game, won a Gold Glove, Silver Slugger, MVP in 2022. Nolan Arenado from 21 to 24, he hit 106 home runs in a Cardinal uniform, 372 RBIs. That's a full 100 less than Goldie. Goldie had a couple extra years, one of those being a COVID year, but still. Arenado goes to 3 All-Star games, wins 2 Gold Gloves, should have won 4. Silver Slugger, and again, as I said before, he was third in MVP voting in 2022. So the Cardinals' future is very different, and the future of Goldschmidt and Arenado will also be very different in the upcoming 25 season. It's okay, man. It's okay. It's easy to root for those guys as they're leaving. I'm less pissed off at the Cardinals front office. I have been. I've come to peace with what's going on, and I'm not mad about it. You know, I'm excited to see the young guys play. Who knows? Maybe Gorman finally figures it out. Jordan Walker deserves to play every fucking day. His talent has no ceiling at all. So the Cardinals still have a chance to not be terrible. Last year, terribly mediocre. Year before that, just fucking god awful. And I'm happy I got to bid farewell to Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, the best corner infield in St. Louis Cardinals history. And through every game I went to throughout that time, I made sure that every time I saw Arenado make a crazy throw, that Goldie scooped on a short hop and they make the fucking play. And, it was always the shit, always will be the shit. And it's not to be forgotten just because the Cardinals kind of suck. Just because they kind of suck and they, we don't know. We don't know exactly what the future holds. Shit used to be consistent. But, we know that they are a big part of Cardinals history, and a salute to them. Again, the best corner infield in Cardinals history. If you come up with an example better than this, good on you. You might be a better Cardinals fan than myself. So respect for that. We're going to wrap that up then. We'll call this the end. The next flurry of episodes released after this will all be recorded on the same fucking night. The holidays are coming up. I've still got to finish my 2 episodes for this week. I got less than 2 hours to do it. Thank you, procrastination. If you listened to the episode a couple episodes ago, I really laid out all my plans and everything. That shit hasn't changed. We're sticking to that plan. Don't mind this minor inconsistency during this week. I know the episodes are late, but it's a process. It's always been a process. I'll always be honest with what I'm trying to fucking do with this. And as always, if you are listening, I really do appreciate it. Thank you for listening this far, especially. Again, the mission will continue to be 2 episodes a week, so get ready to expect that shit. I'm not going to make a promise on the days. That's not going to happen. Not going to make a promise on the days until I actually know, but 2 episodes a week, I will make that promise. And if I don't deliver, talk some shit, go to the Twitter, the Bullpen Twitter, do whatever you got to do. And that's cool with me, because again, that's the goal. That's what we're doing. And that's all of next year. We're giving it the proper go, giving it the respect that it needs, in order to keep you great people around. So I always extremely happy to be here. Love doing this fucking show. Love baseball. Love Goldenado. The best fucking, that sounded stupid as fuck saying that out loud. We're still going to leave that in the title, though. It's been great. Arenado, Goldschmidt, best of luck. I hope you both do fucking amazing next year. And prove everybody wrong, especially you, Arenado. Everybody thinks that you're just going to fall off a cliff, and you're fucking not. Another Midwestern goodbye for the books. Have a great fucking Christmas. And I'll be back with another 5 or so episodes after this one. And then it'll be the new year. And now I'm gone for real.